Hey YouTube, this is Garrett coming to you from Deep Divers Bible Study. I've never done something like this before, and so God has really impacted my life recently. He's changed me. Long story short, I thought I was saved. I was one of those cardinal Christians, I guess. I was born, I thought I was born into to be a Lutheran and a Christian, and I thought that was it. I was baptized as a child, and I thought that saved me, and I was wrong. I didn't know that till I got older, though. So, just to tell you about my story, this is going to be Jesus' testimony in my life. This is his. It's not mine. I can't take credit for anything. I didn't do anything. All I did was ask, and so yeah. So what happened? About a year and a half ago, in May, about a year and a half ago, I had actually got on my knees and begged God to teach me, to send me the truth. And so to start that journey, really started back in our hometown where I grew up in, and so long story short, I was at a job and I was at a crossroads, and prayed for God for a sign. And if it was a sign, I'm oblivious to all. Give me a slap in the face, otherwise I won't know, right? And so long story short, I came into work the next day, right after I said that prayer, after I had that job interview to move 20,000 miles away, and I came into work the next day and had a slap in the face. What was a slap in the face? Well, I was in a sales company, and I had all this opportunity, and I was assured it wasn't going to be given away, basically, the day before this happened, before I made the prayer. And then that night, that night I made that prayer, came in the next day, and boss was basically like, I told you we're going to lose this opportunity. Well, we're going to send it off to another facility. Don't worry. We're going to move you to something called, at that time was called lost accounts. So I kind of view it as if I stayed, I would be lost. So I started laughing, and he's like, "You're really happy about this?" And I was like, "You have no idea. If that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is." And so when you ask for a slap in the face from God, He'll give it to you. And so we ended up moving 20,000 miles, and life was great, and life changed overnight. Made 3 times our income, and everything was great, but we were empty. I was empty specifically, and nothing was ever good enough. I consume, eat, and get all this stuff, and I had everything that anyone could want, and that everybody thought that they wanted, and it left me high and dry. I had a big hole in my heart, and I felt like a black hole, to be honest. It was just devouring everything just coming in my path. Nothing was ever good enough. And so I begged, prayed for. I was like, "God, you sent us here. There's got to be a church nearby. Send us to a church. I mean, there's got to be something's going on. There's got to be something, near us." And so the next day I went to the gym, and I ran into this guy who asked for help for him and his son. He said I looked like I knew what I was doing, and we went. He took us to the first time that we ever went skiing before. Long story short, and all of this, amidst all this, he had told us that he was actually a guitar player. And I was like, can we come? He was like, "Watch me play bass." I was like, "Well, no, we've been looking for a church, and here you are," and saying you're part of a church. And so long story short, we went there. This was during COVID years when it just started. We sat in the wrong pew, to be honest, and didn't know they had different pews roped off. We had no idea. And that sermon was about mask wearing in COVID. And so we felt singled out, to be honest. But that same time, I didn't know my wife at the same time had prayed for friends and family. Because when we moved, we didn't know that, everybody we made friends with ended up moving elsewhere and just using us. She felt used. She wanted friends and family. I wanted a church. God gave us both in one prayer. A lady came up and invited us to something called like a small group. It was like a Bible study. That's when I began my journey of realizing I knew nothing. Now, to set it in motion, I had it all. I thought I had it all. I thought that I didn't need anything else, and so my problem was that I thought I knew all. I knew a lot about supplements. Everything I tried to do in my life, I accomplished growing up, and so I was like, there's nothing I can't do. Little did I know that God was going to crush me because I was my own idol. I idoled myself, to be honest. And so we got these Bible studies. I started reading, and I was like, this is great. I couldn't read the Bible when I was younger, but now I'm older and smarter. Thought I was. And I couldn't understand the words, to be honest. And so that really started to humble me, and I every time I tried to read it, I'd start to get tired, bored, lack of better words, and so I had tried to read and I couldn't, and then I started trying to read, kept trying to read, just jumping around the Bible, and Isaiah was pretty cool, to be honest, and so I started reading Isaiah. Started in the beginning, and I got to 29. Isaiah 29, verses 9 and on, and he says, "Stay to yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahweh has poured out a spirit of deep sleep, and he hath clothed his eyes. The prophets and your rulers and the seers hath he covered. And the vision of them will become unto you like the words of a book. It is sealed, which men can deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I can't, for it's sealed. And the book was delivered to them that was learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. Wherefore the Lord had, as much as these people draw near to me with their mouth, their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me. And their fear towards me is taught by the precept of men. I read that, and I was like, I can't read these words. I can't understand them. That's me. I'm that man. I grew up as a Lutheran, and I thought I was saved because it's, infant baptism. And literally I know that I wasn't born again. I never truly went down on my knees, and I asked God to fix me, to save me, to ask Jesus to wash me, to teach me, to guide me. Because I was my own God. And so when I read that, and I noticed, everybody else around me was understanding the words I was at. My church was saved, right? There's a lot of good people, great pastors. They know what they're doing. And I didn't have the joy they had. And deep anger, to be honest. Always did. And my wife, they're always right. She had told me that I needed to be born again and baptized as an adult. Thought she was wrong. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. But before, I read this and realized that was me, that I knew nothing, and I couldn't even read his words. I actually had gotten baptized as an adult. I was like, I'm doing this. God led us here. This is what he wants. I know it is what he wants. This is what he wants. And I got baptized. We went down to the river, got baptized, accepted him. Lip service. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed until I read this passage. Because I started examining myself. I never read that in the scriptures before either. I examined myself, looked, I was like, here they are. My wife and all these people have this joy that I don't have. They have this understanding that I don't have. And I felt dead. Like the Walking Dead. I was the zombie. And so when I read that, I got down on my knees and I was like, God, save me. What's wrong with me? I was like, what did I do? I was like, fix me. These are the sins that I struggle with. I struggle with pornography. I struggle with adultery. I put things before you. Cars. I put cars before you, God. I worship cars. I know I do. And I don't want this anymore. It leads to nowhere. Fix me, please. Send me the truth. Teach me the truth. Show me the way. And it was about an hour pleading. Tears strolling down my face. Nothing. 3 days later, the church said, hey, it randomly came back to our place and we thought you needed a new Bible. I was like, what? and started tearing up a little bit. I was like, I just prayed for this, for God to teach me 3 days ago on my knees, begging. And here you are with a new Bible. I had a Bible, but there's a new one. It doesn't matter what version it was, but there's a new one. And, they were blown away. We all were. And so the very next day I started reading. And it's the first time I could understand what was being said. And I couldn't put it down. Whereas before, I couldn't even read it. I couldn't pay attention because I have ADD, by the way, horrible ADD. I have ADD and ADHD. And unless I'm on some type of drug, I can't focus. Not this, though. I didn't need a drug. He started teaching me. I asked for teaching. I begged for the truth. He sent me the word. I asked for God. He sent me Jesus. I asked for forgiveness, and he washed me. I knew I was different. And I couldn't put down the Bible. I didn't eat for 3 months, but I wasn't hungry. I mean, I ate a little bit, but not, I normally do. And I didn't sleep and I wasn't tired. And he kept giving me all these dreams, teaching dreams, which I'll share with you guys. But here's what my first Bible looks like. First Bible that God, gave me. It's crazy. I mean, when was this? When did I receive this? I dated everything. And so this one was given to me. They dated this 4/10/22. I read the entire Bible like 8 times. And I was finished with that Bible. 4/10/22, 10/8/22. Because I have got another Bible. I labeled it. And so I had to come to Jesus as an adult. I had to make a conscious decision to come to him. I wasn't saved because I was born into Christianity. I wasn't saved because I was dunked into the river and had lip service. Although we're supposed to do that because Jesus says, do as I do, right? So we are supposed to be baptized physically. But that doesn't save you. That doesn't wash you of your sins. There's only one person who can, and that's Jesus Christ, the only living God. The arm of Yahweh. To whom has the arm been revealed? Isaiah 53. And he keeps teaching me every day. Non-stop. And it hasn't stopped. And I don't know. I don't want it to stop. And then the more I read, the more I learn, the more he uses me. I'm just a tool in his hand. I went from thinking I knew it all. Literally, people would say, you're such a know-it-all. I'm like, well... Do you go to a doctor and tell them they're a know-it-all? I mean, you're not a know-it-all if you actually know it all. That's what I used to believe. That's how I was, arrogant. I was haughty. I was prideful. I was wicked. The music I listened to after I was born again that day, when I first started reading, I used to listen to this horrible, bad music. I didn't know it was bad. Hip hop R&B. You could hear me banging down the street down the street. Music talking about Beelzebub and stuff. I didn't know it was a demon. And so the next day I was born again and tried to listen to the same stuff. Not just as a test. Just normal. Going about my life. You can't do that. Not when you're born again. God won't let you do that. The music was detestable to me, if that makes sense. I couldn't listen. I had to turn it off. It's like a wall was put up. That never happened to me before. I couldn't do it. I couldn't listen to it. Just couldn't. I had to turn it off. Try to listen to another song. Nope. Couldn't listen to that either. Turn it off. When do you tell yourself to turn it off? You don't. I was like, oh, okay. What more do you do? You know? And the stuff like that, I used to wear tank tops everywhere. I was in the bodybuilding all the time. And I kind of joke about this, but you come to Jesus Christ, he turns into a 70-year-old retiree. I swear. Now, I'm wearing dress shirts all the time, and he cleaned me up. I didn't clean myself up. People try to clean themselves up to be born again. How often do you clean yourself before you go take a shower? Huh? No, you don't. Same concept. Okay. You don't have to clean your life up to come to Jesus. You come to him, as you are. But you're not going to stay as you are. No. He'll change you. The Holy Ghost will change you. Mind you, again, I grew up as the Lutheran all my life. I don't remember ever learning any of this stuff. It's in John. You must be born again. Right there. And then Yahweh talks about it throughout the Bible. I will sprinkle you and wash you of your sins. Like, he literally says that. I can teach you a whole bunch, and I will be teaching more videos. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. He's got a lot to do. The next video I'm going to be doing is going to be about the dreams he's given me. And then the other videos, as I get into it, are going to be daily teachings. We're going to break daily bread. Stay tuned. Deep Divers.